You know what I think? I think that we're all in our private traps, clamped in them, and none of us can ever get out. We scratch and claw, but only at the air, only at each other. And for all of it, we never budge an inch.
Sometimes we deliberately step into those traps.
I was born in mine. I don't mind it anymore.
Oh, but you should. You should mind it.
Oh, I do. But I say I don't.
You know, if anyone ever talked to me the way I heard, the way she spoke to you.
Sometimes, when she talks to me like that, I feel I'd like to go up there and curse her and leave her forever. Or at least defy her. But I know I can't. She's ill.
She sounded strong.
No, I mean, ill. She had to raise me all by herself after my father died. I was only 5, and it must have been quite a strain for her. She didn't have to go to work or anything like that. He left her a little money. Anyway, a few years ago, Mother met this man, and he talked her into building this motel. He could have talked her into anything. And when he died, too, it was just too great a shock for her. And the way he died. I guess it's nothing to talk about while you're eating. Anyway, it was just too great a loss for her. She had nothing left.
Except you.
Well, a son is a poor substitute for a lover.
Why don't you go away?
To a private island like you?
No. Not like me.
I couldn't do that. Who'd look after her? She'd be alone up there. The fire would go out. It'd be cold and damp like a grave. If you love someone, you don't do that to them even if you hate them. You understand? I don't hate her. I hate what she's become. I hate the illness.
Wouldn't it be better if you put her someplace?
You mean an institution? A madhouse? People always call a madhouse someplace, don't they? Put her in someplace.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean it to sound uncaring.
What do you know about caring? Have you ever seen the inside of one of those places? The laughing and the tears, and the cruel eyes studying you. My mother there. But she's harmless. She's as harmless as one of those stuffed birds.
I am sorry. I only felt... It seems she's hurting you. I meant well.
People always mean well. They cluck their thick tongues and shake their heads and suggest oh so very delicately. Of course, I've suggested it myself. But I hate to even think about it. She needs me. It's not as if she were a maniac, a raving thing. She just goes a little mad sometimes. We all go a little mad sometimes. Haven't you?
Welcome to Flyby Films, a once or twice a month podcast where using the internet, Starlink, tubes, the magic of distance conquest. Oh man, I couldn't come up with a joke, Blake. I worked 10 hours today and I just couldn't come up with a joke. So let me go.
You literally worked up until about 45 minutes ago.
I did, and I ate a burger and then had some coffee. And that's what I did with my
Me too, bud.
my break time. Oh man. Anyway, if you thought Blake's intro last time was terrible, oof, I just set a new bar. All right. Anyway, welcome. This is Fly By Films. You know the drill. We talk about films that have been either forgotten or will be forgotten. I'm Jamison, and sitting next to me, kind of, is Blake. How are you doing, Blake?
I'm pretty good. It was a short week, which in this day and age of working for the man, any kind of break from the normal week is nice.
Did you get both Monday and Tuesday off, or did you?
I did. Oh. Even my wife didn't get it, and she works for the government, so.
Wow, that's fancy. I also got it
fancy.
off, but I got to ask for both of those days off. And you know what? We're twinsies in that my wife also didn't get Monday off, so she was just jealous the whole time. No, it actually worked out because on Mondays during the day, my wife is able to go and take Hazel to swim lessons, which he started, which is really cool.
He's already starting swim lessons?
He's already already starting swim lessons.
See, we're still trying to we're thinking about starting Seamus on swim lessons this summer, and he's 2.5.
Yeah, so. we live there's a swim kids swim school 5 minutes away from us, and they do 6 months and above, and he's 7 months, and so I mean right now it's just being in the pool with him and holding him the whole time, but
getting him used to the water.
Just getting him used to the water. We it's on the top of my mind because we have it's small, but it's a deep pond in the front, and there's no way he can get to it right now, but give him a couple of years and he can climb up and fall in, if we're not watching. And there's plenty of room for him to be able to turn around in it. But we just want him to be able to do that, Yeah. Because any accident like that, any time buying could save someone's life. So anyway, that's one of the things on our mind when we're we want to teach him to swim. Also, we just like water and we want to share that with him. So, but my wife got a tattoo over the weekend, and you're not supposed to submerge your arm once for 3 weeks or something like that. So she couldn't kind of be the parent in the pool, but I was off, and so I was able to go, and that was a lot of fun.
Nice.
Yeah, I would say that was actually probably the highlight of my week. The 4th of July was all right. We had some people over, and it was nice. I made some pies, but yeah, the swimming with my son was pretty cool.
Yeah, well, I've got some swimming related stories over the break.
Ooh.
Yeah. So apparently my son is a bit of a daredevil. He's 2.5. He wears what we call a puddle jumper, which is the thing that it's like the floaties, but it ties around his back and it keeps his waist up above water. But he and I went Sunday night. This is currently Thursday, but Sunday night we went to the pool, and and my wife was doing confirmation at our church. So she was going to meet us after she got done with that. And so it was just me and him. And he got to a point where he was wanting to like jump off the side of the pool. And that's cool, whatever. I would set him up on the side and he would just jump off. And it was a grand time. But I set him up at one point and he started like walking down. I was like, what? What in the world? It's like he was like inching towards the diving board.
Ooh. Oh my goodness.
And I do not swim well. I have the grace of a drowning victim when it comes to swimming. So I can survive if it's just me, but if I have to take care of someone else, that's a whole other story.
Yeah.
Wow. And so it was fine. Like once my wife got there, he ran, like he got away from her and he ran towards the diving board. Thankfully, with some of the other people there were like, "Oh, we got him. If he, the kid jumped off the freaking diving board, and with his puddle jumper on, and then he proceeded to do it like 10 more times after that.
Oh my god!
And then we went back again on the morning of the 4th of July, and he did it like who knows how many more times. But then we were about to head home, and I had already taken his thing off, and I thought he was right behind me, and I was looking for a towel so I could wrap it around him and dry him off a little bit, and I turn around and the kid's like trying to like shimmy into the pool again, and he gets all the way in and he sinks down.
Oh my goodness!
I have to reach down, grab his arm, and yank him back up. He was scared to death. So yeah, he was underwater for a handful of seconds. Basically just like terrified. Pulled him out.
Yeah.
I was like,
oh, man.
So yeah, he's got a bit of a he doesn't understand mortality. Let's just put it that way.
Well, granted, I think that's pretty normal about that age, right? That's why you need parents.
Yeah. Well, I spent the first 2.5 years beating it into him. I'm just kidding. I don't beat my child.
Oh, I didn't. Yeah. I didn't think that's what you meant. Yeah.
Yeah. So that was my fun swimming story.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, it definitely sounds like it's time for him to start lessons too. That's cool.
Well, and I'm more excited about when he turns 5, because then we can get him started in summer camps with the rock climbing wall in Tulsa.
Oh, cool.
Because he loves climbing, so like I'm excited for that, because I'm like, hey, let's get him started early.
I know this about him because you once sent me a very infamous picture of him just climbing over the refrigerator.
Yeah.
I remember that. Yeah.
Yep.
So.
And he climbs over the fence. He climbs over his crib. He climbs over just about anything he can climb on. The kid has no fear of like the big playgrounds. Like he'll just start climbing up. He's like, whatever.
And were you like much of a climber when you were a kid? Like
no. I mean,
was this?
No, not really. No.
Okay.
No. I think this is coming from his biologic genes, which is a whole nother story, but he's not genetically related to us. Like, so
yeah,
his genes are like, like on the dad's side, it's his grandparents were like professors of ballet at Princeton or some shit like that.
Oh, wow.
So like there's like gymnastics is in his DNA, and so it's not surprising that he's as squirrely as he is. So
that's cool. That's cool.
So yeah.
Well, yeah, that'll be fun to watch develop. Like, surprises like that. Like, is he into ballet? Is he into dance? Is he into like all this stuff? That's cool.
As long as he doesn't go free solo, I'll be okay.
Yeah. I don't know if I ever told you this story, but my wife's brother is a rock climber, and he once fell off a mountain. I don't think he's not a free soloer, but he survived, listeners. He's alive now still. But yeah, it was a pretty crazy story, and there was like a couple days where we were all like, where is he? And he just kind of had to like stay alive for a couple days with a broken.
Oh wow.
He had a broken pelvis and like maybe like a broken arm. I don't know. He lost a tiny bit of his finger due to frostbite and stuff, but yeah.
Jeez.
He was they profiled his story on like one of the weather channels, like I don't know, crazy survival stories.
Gotcha.
I forget what it was, but I watched.
Is it basically like the Weather Channel version of Ancient Aliens?
Yes, exactly that. Exactly that. No, it was like the Weather Channel version of Bear Grylls, whatever that show was called. I just remember Bear Grylls. So
was it Survivor Man? Something like that?
Oh, I think that
his very first show?
Yeah, I think that's what it was. Yeah, I don't know. I never watched it. I just remembered the name Bear Grylls because that's a great name.
Well, and it always made me wonder what the bear was grilling.
Yeah. You're telling me a bear grilled this rice?
First off, I didn't know you could grill rice. Second off, a bear did it.
Yeah.
I don't know which one is more magical.
Yeah. I bet you could grill rice. I bet it wouldn't be good. Like,
I think you would have to boil it first and then stick it in some foil and then toss it on the grill. But I'm not sure why you would want to do that.
Yeah, that seems... Well, if you could somehow get, like, grill marks, like tiny, tiny grill marks on each piece of rice, that would be incredible. But it would also be a waste of time.
You know, there's someone out there who's going to try that, right?
I hope they're listening to this podcast right now because I just gave them the idea. So,
or they've already done it and they're like, finally, someone who recognized my achievement.
Well, because I don't know them, I did not recognize it. So
yeah, but you recognize the concept that he accomplished.
Well,
and that was slightly misogynist of me because
he or she wasting their time, or honest. They. Yes.
I mean,
anyone can waste their time like this, Blake. So
pronouns are a waste of time these days. I mean, you just use it willy-nilly. It doesn't matter.
I meant the act of grilling the rice. All right. So we've spent this entire time not even talking about what we're going to talk about. So, Blake, what brings us here today? What film?
Oh. You mean films?
I do.
Well, this is round 2 of our McDonagh series, McDonagh Brothers series. I feel like we really missed out on some kind of like wordplay on McDonagh and Madonna.
Yeah.
Like In Vogue or some shit. Or Material Girl.
Material Girl.
World.
Like
we'll have to workshop that. We'll workshop that.
Yeah.
See if we can figure something out.
Speaking of Madonna,
my title for this series was kind of lame.
What was I don't even remember.
Irish Troubles.
Oh. Yeah, we'll have to change it up. Especially because one of these movies, well, it has an Irish person in it, but it's not I guess, yeah, some of them aren't in Ireland. Yeah. We've already had one not in Ireland. But anyway, what two movies are we watching or talking about? Did we already watch?
We are talking about we
what was that?
We are watching 2012's, right? 2012's Seven Psychopaths by Martin McDonagh and 2014's Calvary by John Michael McDonagh. Now, of these two films, the one that is most remembered and is most loved is Calvary, which, for various reasons, all of which are true, it is a superb film.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to talk more about this when we get to these movies, when we get to our movie discussion. But
I also found that my rewatch of Seven Psychopaths did not fail me either. So
yeah, Seven Psych.
I'm excited to hear how this viewing worked for you.
I think I liked both the movies again, but yeah, we'll get into it when we get into it.
But that is why we are here.
Yeah, that's why we're here today. This is what brings us together.
This is literally the only reason why we're on this podcast right now, is to talk about these two movies.
I don't even really like Blake, but he is the only person who will talk about movies with me. So
That's right. You know? I have complete and utter adoration for Jamison, and I will take any time that he's willing to give me. So it's a unrequited love, but a love nonetheless.
Oh. Blake, that just means so much to me.
Yeah. And yet you still want to get off the line.
It doesn't make me like you more, but, you know.
Indeed. So, Jamison, we talked a little bit last time about music. Have you read anything good lately?
Have I read anything good lately?
Yeah.
I'm supposed to be finishing up a book, but I'm pretty far behind in it. And
would this happen to be a book that I was reading as well?
Yes.
And that I did finish?
That Blake did finish. A book that is part of a book club that I am in. And Blake is also in, and I am way behind in the book. And it's supposed to be finished either this Sunday or this week.
This week, yeah.
It's supposed to be finished this week.
And that was given an extra week.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people were behind on it.
It wasn't given for me because I didn't speak up, but I needed it. So,
yeah.
We'll see if I can race to the end. This weekend will be book time.
Just find the audiobook 1.5 speed.
Yeah, I think I might have to do that. But there actually is a reason, not a reason that I don't have a slight bit of shame for, but there's a reason why I haven't finished it.
Yeah, we don't need to go into that.
Oh, okay. That I'll go into it because I set it up. I want to go into it.
How was I supposed to know that?
Well, I don't know.
For all I know, it could have been very personal, and that you need to calm your shit down.
We need to take some. We should take some improv classes so we can get our yes and cues a little bit better.
Yeah. Yeah. A friend tried to
Yeah.
convince me to do a type 5 at an open mic one time. He was drunk when he was talking to me about it on the phone, though, so,
Yeah.
it
How
probably
tight?
wasn't. Well, I mean, it had to be. You only have 5 minutes, so you have to, like. That's what they call it. You gotta. No dead air. You gotta have jokes for 5 minutes straight. Solid jokes for 5 minutes.
Do you have 5 minutes worth of jokes?
I mean, if I thought about it, I could probably pull off 5 minutes. I
Yeah.
don't think I can pull off much more than that, but
We should do that on the podcast. Just
do an open mic night.
5 minutes of Blake giving jokes, and then 5 minutes of me giving jokes, and then that
Have the
will be our
listeners vote.
that will be our last podcast ever.
It'd be like we could do like a last comic standing thing. Have the listeners vote the one of us off the podcast.
I like that idea. Oh man, yeah,
and then the judge gets to become the new co-host.
yeah, that's yeah. So what you're saying is, whoever Thad votes off, Thad has to
Exactly.
replace.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah, I get it.
Until the next round, and then
Until yeah, and I'll just vote for revenge. I'll vote Thad
of
back
course.
off. Yeah. Oh, I'm already assuming I'm getting voted off.
Ye of little faith, Jamison.
I know. Look at that. Oh, what was I gonna say? I was. Oh. Never mind.
You were going to talk about why you haven't been able to finish the book.
Oh yeah. It's because I've been playing too much Zelda. But I only have a little bit of shame from that because it's so fucking good. It's just an incredible game. But I do have a little bit of shame.
It's funny that Zelda is at the bottom of your procrastination of reading the book, because the book there's a character in the book called Zerelda Lee, and so Zerelda. It's almost like Salman Rushdie was like, he's like prophesying your downfall.
Yeah, that's why he wrote Victory City, was to call me out. Be like, Look at this slacker.
Look at this long-haired hippie.
Yeah. No, the new Zelda game is great. So I haven't been reading anything good. I've been playing a great video game though. So yeah.
I've been watching some great movies.
That's cool. Have you did you want to give your books that you've been reading?
Well, Victory City.
Okay.
By Rushdie, which I just finished a couple of days ago. Reading V by Thomas Pynchon. I'm about 200 pages into that. It's like a 550-page book. Starting my reread of Eichmann and Jerusalem for a paper I got to write. Hannah Arendt. And then got some academic book on VHS shit. No one cares about that though. I got it through the interlibrary loan through our local library. And I'm going to be starting Needful Things by Stephen King here before too long. So.
Blake always has like 7 books that he's reading at a time.
I mean, I've got a shit ton of books I would like to read, but they're all in a queue. So, and I got rid of my Kindle, so I've got like a crap ton of Kindle ebooks on my hard drive that I'm waiting for them to finally crack the the DRM on the newest Kindle files, so I can use them again on a different device than Amazon. So
yeah. I'm sure. How far do you think they are from doing that?
Oh, I would imagine they'll have something by the end of the year.
All right. So
it usually doesn't take them that long to crack it. Yeah. And then Amazon will create something more sophisticated, and then they'll crack that, and just on and on we go.
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
it's called the Bezos paradox.
But you have to understand, listener, that the reason why I read so much is because I suck at video games. I've always been very dumb when it comes to video games. So I don't play them very often, and when I do, I usually lose magnificently. And then lately, I haven't really liked watching TV or movies because I get really paralyzed by all the choices that are out there. And so it's like that choice paralysis element. And I finally just got tired of it. So now I just read a lot. Because I've got shit tons of books. And I can pick one out and read it. Pick one out, read it.
You know what we should do? We should take a year where the first month we ask our listeners to tell us exactly what we should watch that year, and we only go off of that list, and we go in order. And so it gets rid of the choice paralysis, and we don't have any control.
Oh, see, but that's a good idea. I like that idea. But picking movies for this podcast is not that hard, actually.
Why is that? I experienced that too. I mean, there have been a couple times where like it's been my turn coming up, and I'm like, oh, and I spend like a couple hours, and then I'm like, oh, okay, but like it never drags on.
It never drags on because you always know, unless this podcast ends prematurely, like we'll get to it eventually. And so, like, I don't have to pick this one right now. I can pick this other one, and we'll get to the other one at some point, you know.
Well, you know what it is? What it honestly is when you know your friend is down for anything, watching any movie becomes fun.
Yeah.
Right? Like, there's such a social component to watching movies when you both like aren't, when you don't have all of this baggage too, because like I've had option paralysis when I'm like trying to please like my wife with a movie and stuff like that, because you know I know she's not interested and I'm trying to drag her into.
I completely gave up on pleasing my wife with movies.
Yeah. And so and I think, you know, when you're with a friend who might be like pickier about movies, and like you know you don't know if you've earned their trust or something like that, and you're like, oh, is this movie right? You know that feeling about like when you show someone a movie you really love, and you're like always kind of like looking over, like, are you laughing at the right moments? Are you enjoying it? You know, it's really like vulnerable, actually. But I think like this podcast, the ground rules we set up, it was like, you want to watch a movie, I want to watch a movie, we switch off. The quality of the movie doesn't really matter. We're just enjoying it, and I know that you're gonna have thoughts on it. I'm gonna have thoughts on it, and
we're gonna BS for 45 minutes before we even get to it.
Yeah, I mean it. I don't know. There's something enjoyable about that. That's basically like worth the price of admission, no matter what the film is, and so that takes the the option paralysis out of it, for me at least.
Oh yeah. Well, and I think what causes me option paralysis is being so dependent on not knowing what a movie is or how good it is or if I'm going to like it, and having all these choices of what I could watch. And we're talking like new and old movies. There's plenty of old movies I haven't seen that I would like to see at some point, but I'm always like, I've got so little time to like watch stuff. Mm-hmm. And so I'm like, do I really want to devote my time to this or this or this? And eventually I just get to where I'm like, I'm afraid like I'm going to waste like 45 minutes of my already limited time just trying to decide between what I want to watch. At that point, it becomes pointless. So
yeah. No, it's something that takes some work too, because that 45 minutes, you could have watched 45 minutes of a movie that's been on your list, and mm-hmm. just dialing that in, I don't know. It's weird that instead of actually watching something that might, spark your imagination or bring you some amount of joy.
Yeah.
You spend it in this almost torment of what should I do next. Yeah.
Well, and literally, I tell people for the past probably 6 months to a year, most of the movies I've watched have been the movies we've done for the podcast, and that's about it. Maybe the occasional trip to the theater, for a movie that I really want to see. But even these days, like, it has to be significantly on my radar for me to really go out and watch it in a theater. Yeah. Otherwise, I'm like, I'll catch you on, streaming in 5 years down the road or something.
Yeah, and I think this might just be part of, like, a stage of life, too, because we both have young kids. And there's something about that just dictates your schedule, apparently.
I have very deep thoughts about the class warfare issues of Octonauts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I've seen every episode of that show like 15 times, probably.
Well, if you ever want to do a spin-off on Octonauts, you know who to call.
Yeah. No, I don't actually. Who am I going to call?
Oh, I was going to say I'm down for...
Oh.
I just haven't watched them yet, so...
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't... I mean, they're not bad.
Okay. So these are positive thoughts. These are critical thoughts.
Yeah, critical thought. Well, I like Octonauts. It's very enjoyable. If it hadn't been for the fact that I've seen them so many times at this point, they're fun. But mine is more just like, how can I make this interesting again?
Yeah.
Because I'm already having to watch it because my son is obsessed. So how do I make it interesting as I'm watching them again and again and again? And so I come up with interesting theoretical critiques and theories behind the class dynamics. Yeah, but I would tell you, hold off on TV shows as long as possible because it's a slippery slope. We started off, we were like, he's only going to watch Octonauts, period. And then we introduced Bluey, which Bluey is amazing.
I haven't heard a bad thing about Bluey, so.
But it's a slippery slope because then Elmo comes in. You got Sesame Street. We originally started him on Mr. Rogers. We were only going to show him Mr. Rogers. That was all it was going to be. And then one of my wife's friends was like, "Oh, you should try this Octonaut show," and we got him started on that, and he's obsessed. And so now we've got like 5 shows that we watch, and I'm just like, we spend way too much time watching TV.
Yeah, we're gonna try to hold off for a bit. We let Hazel watch me play video games sometimes. So
yeah, at least that's somewhat interactive though.
Sure. That's I think the big thing that we want to do is just to make sure that we're not ignoring him. So I think that's more at this stage what we're trying to do is like, oh, Hazel's up and around, let's put down our phones, let's, give him attention. And
so
then,
that's why you don't text me back. I'm just kidding.
That's the story I'm gonna give you. Yeah, that's why I don't text you back. It's not because I hate your texts and I am afraid of talking to you.
You're not the only one who hates my texts. I hate my texts.
But yeah, and then in some time, I'm sure we'll introduce TV to him. We're trying to collect. We're trying to collect anti-Disney movies. Not anti-Disney movies, but we're trying to collect.
Your kid is gonna be the foremost expert on Studio Ghibli, right?
Yeah. So we're trying to get alternative, not anti. There alternatives to Disney. Just because I don't know, we want our kid to know that there's other things out there, but there's no way we're gonna protect him from Disney altogether. Like we bought.
Seamus has fallen for that already. He wears Mickey shirts every day. He's obsessed with Mickey.
Well, and that's the thing is like we got these diapers and they were just Huggies diapers, and then Mickey was on them, and I was like, oh, this is how Disney has like such a hold on everybody's life. Mm-hmm. Is they're just everywhere, and so you can only do so much.
Just a matter of time before they buy everybody too.
Yeah, man. And I think that's why I'm so like set on making sure that we at least have alternatives in the house is like there are other things. There are other paradigms of thinking. So
yep.
Yeah. Anyway.
Well, should we talk about the films?
Yeah, let's.
And when I say films, tonight's choices are film.
I think one of the movies we're going to be talking about, I think, is a masterpiece. I think it is a great film with a capital G, and it's a film that should be and will be remembered for a while. So it won't be forgotten for a while. And I think maybe
I think by a good portion of the population, it will be remembered forever.
Yeah. I also think that maybe we've talked about one other movie of this caliber before on the podcast. So
yeah.
So
I don't remember what it was, but yes, I have a vague memory of us talking about one that was not really going to be forgotten or was forgotten. So.
Yeah. Well, I think that was the episode with Nate. I think The Rider is a really good movie.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
But yeah.
Which I believe is still our highest listened to episode, right?
It's going neck and neck with the pilot.
With the pilot.
When people discover our podcast, they listen to that one, but then they see But yeah, that was definitely a very popular show. We'll have to have Nate on again so we can get listens out of him again.
Yeah, we got to squeeze that You gotta squeeze that lemon as much as possible.
Squeeze that Paquette. Yeah.
So
but yeah.
I suppose we should talk about Seven Psychopaths first, just chronologically speaking.
Yes. So, Seven Psychopaths came out 2012. It was Martin McDonagh's second film. Martin McDonagh previously did In Bruges,
which is highly celebrated.
And this one, we can get into it more, but it again stars Colin Farrell, and he is playing Martin McDonagh in it. Well, I don't know if they give him the last name McDonagh, but he's Marty, and he's an Irish screenwriter. So,
and he's clearly a stand-in.
Yeah.
I mean, the way the movie is set up, he's writing the movie that we're watching.
Yeah. So, this is Martin McDonagh at his most meta.
Yeah.
But it also stars There's a shit ton of people in this movie.
Yeah.
I forgot how many people were in this movie. I also forgot how many people are introduced and then killed almost immediately in this movie.
All the women.
Well,
except for the wife.
Yeah. Well, you mean not
She's
the wife.
Only one who makes Christopher Walken's wife.
Well, Marty's girlfriend, she doesn't get killed, I don't think.
But she disappears. Like she's She gets killed in the the ending that Sam Rockwell comes up with.
Yeah. No, and actually
But Christopher Walken notates in the movie how shitty the women are written.
I will say that's funny and it's noted, but it feels like a big stretch for that joke. It doesn't feel like the joke quite earns treating women that poorly.
Yeah.
But to be fair, Christopher Walken's wife in the movie is a very strong character.
And Tom Waits' wife.
Yeah. But she doesn't speak. Does she? She doesn't get any speaking lines, right?
Tom Waits' wife?
Tom Waits' wife.
No.
Yeah, it's just it's like a narrated sequence that she's in. But I just mean it's incredible because Christopher Walken's wife, she holds her own against both Christopher Walken and Woody Harrelson.
I like how we're just name dropping all these people because that's how star-studded this movie is.
Yeah. And we haven't even scratched the surface on everyone too. These are I'm serious. It opens with two famous character actors who are great and it kills them immediately.
Yeah.
But I was Christopher Walken's wife in the movie. I was like, I've definitely seen her somewhere else. She's been in some other things, but I looked her up. She doesn't even have a picture on IMDb. She
was great.
She hasn't been in that much, but yeah, she was great. I was actually surprised by that. Her name was Linda Bright Clay, and I just thought you're a good actor if you can hold your own versus versus Walken and Harrelson. So,
and then you got Harry Dean Stanton in a small cameo.
Oh my god, yeah, Harry Dean Stanton is in it, and so the movie, Harry Dean Stanton is in it, and then he eventually becomes Christopher Walken's character later.
Mm-hmm. And we find
But
out that Christopher Walken's wife was part of the story too.
yeah. And it gives more layers to, and they like are able to like give more layers to that story too later on when you find out. We could talk about that story in a second. But it opens with Michael Stolberg, and who is famously a very serious man,
Mm-hmm.
and Michael Pitt, and they're two just gangsters. And
Who was in? He was in the American Funny Games, right?
yes,
Michael Pitt.
Yeah, Michael Pitt is in the American Funny Games, and he was good in that too.
Yeah.
And they're just they're talking about shooting eyes out, and it's very funny. But like Michael Stolberg is just such a great such a great actor, because he comes off like such a scumbag in this, but if you watch him in A Serious Man, he's just such like a timid, vulnerable, like trying person. It's very, I don't know, it's very good. And then they just get murdered immediately.
Yeah. I mean, it's the ratio of famous people in this movie that get murdered pretty quickly is very high.
Yeah.
But then you allow Christopher Walken to be part of the main cast that survives until the very end, and I'm just like, hey, sign me up.
Yeah.
The new Dune trailer. It's got me excited simply because of Walken.
I saw that he was in it. I haven't watched the trailer yet, so
I haven't watched it either. I just knew that he was in it. I was like, sign me up.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I know it's your favorite director, so.
Oh, he's amazing.
Yeah. Blake gave me a very, very suspicious look when he said that. So.
Although I grudgingly have to give it to him on the first Dune.
He did a good job on Dune.
He did, yeah. So.
I recently, I don't know why we're talking about Denis Villeneuve, but he has some movies that I like. I like Prisoners. I like Enemy. I like Arrival a lot.
Before Dune, Arrival was the one I would give him the most credit for. Even though
Dune is good.
Still think it had a huge MacGuffin in it, but that's beside the point. So,
but I recently watched his movie Incendies.
I haven't seen that one. That's a French language, right?
Is it French? I don't remember. It takes place in a made-up Middle Eastern country and Canada, and don't watch it.
He's French Canadian, right?
He's French Canadian, yeah.
Okay. Well, you don't have to tell me twice.
All of the things that you hate about him, I think, are magnified in that movie. And if that was the movie that I had started with, I definitely think it would have left a really bad taste in my mouth.
Gotcha.
So I'm glad he made some better movies. Oh, and Blade Runner 2049, that's a great film.
Great. I mean, it's coming off of a real shit first film, so.
All right. Back to the movies at hand. So, the movie it has kind of a little bit of an episodic nature to it, where you're learning about these seven psychopaths, and I think it plays fast and loose with the count at one point too.
Oh yeah.
So,
well, you can make the case that everyone that has even a remotely large part in the movie outside of maybe Marty is a psychopath. So,
Yeah.
and Sam Rockwell being the height of psychopathy.
Sam Rockwell.
Which he does great. That's what he does brilliantly. And he can pull that off really easily.
So the movie is about Marty, who's writing a screenplay called Seven Psychopaths.
Desperately trying to write it because he's got a deadline.
And
he's an alcoholic.
He's an alcoholic, and he's also a plagiarist, which is a topic we're familiar with here. He's also not really good at writing by any stretch, any useful criteria for that.
Yeah.
We haven't seen examples of him actually writing. We just see examples of him regurgitating stories from other people.
And he also happens to be a pacifist.
Oh yeah, he's a pacifist. Yeah. So, which is interesting.
Comes into play later on.
Comes into play later on. Blake, did you have a favorite psychopath from this movie?
I mean, my first, the one I would jump to is Walken, but I actually think that Rockwell's psychopath is perhaps my favorite on further reflection, and it's simply because I think Martin McDonagh is trying to say something with him, about. So the way it's set up is that Marty ends up traveling into the desert with Christopher Walken, who is a psychopath, but he's the Amish psychopath. And then Sam Rockwell, who is like a full-on violent psychopath. And they're
the Jack of Diamonds.
He's asked Walken and Rockwell to help him write the screenplay. And so it's a montage of them walking around the desert, and Christopher Walken's like speaking into a recorder about his thoughts about the screenplay, and you see Rockwell standing on a cliff just like talking and acting shit out. And then like it shows Marty and Christopher Walken sitting at nighttime around the fire, and they're gonna listen to how Sam Rockwell would end the movie. Mm-hmm. And Sam Rockwell does this whole like massive like Hollywood style like shootout ending where everyone just dies, and there's like blood and guts everywhere and like randomness and insanity. And I think, at least the way I read it, he's making a statement with Sam Rockwell's psychopath, in that is a very American mentality, to end the story on these massive shootouts. It's part of the DNA of Hollywood films, westerns and action films, and you always end Marvel films. You always end on the action, like the big shootouts.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's coming from Sam Rockwell, who is a psychopath, I think it's showing the absurdity of that being the American Hollywood mentality. That every story that has any kind of like action element or anything like that has to end in blood and guts. Like that's the only way it can end. And so
yeah.
I really like that whole setup and the whole like reenactment of his ending. And then it just cuts to Walken and Marty, Colin Farrell, and they're just like they're just staring at him, and Walken's like, it's good.
Yeah.
There's layers to it.
And then so I think they go back and forth trying to like say something nice to the psychopath, and then it cuts to them in a car, Marty and Walken together, and Walken immediately goes like, a head can't blow up like that, right?
Yeah.
That's just impossible.
Oh.
That part of the movie is so funny. It's that it got me rolling. It got Kira rolling too. Just some of the lines. There's definitely some inappropriate lines.
Oh yeah.
For, for this podcast, but when Sam Rockwell has the bad guy, who's Woody Harrelson, like say at the end like peace is for queers, like it's that one just got me rolling. And then there was another one, it's mocking all this like masculine talk,
machismo, yeah,
like that.
Yeah, the John Wayne mentality,
yeah. But then there's also a really insightful pushback. I feel like before that scene, there was a line Sam Rockwell delivers where Colin Farrell, Marty, is like just kind of going on and on about like, oh, I don't want there to be violence. Oh yeah, I want it to be, I want the focus to be like just them talking and whatnot. Yeah. And Sam Rockwell's like, I've got an idea. Why don't we change the title from Seven Psychopaths to Seven Lesbians who all get over their trauma, and two of them are black. And I was just like, yeah, I get it. Yeah.
Well, and then
we want this violence. Like we're obsessed with it. So we like write these movies about these violent topics, and then we want to like shy away from actually delving into it by having, this tokenization of something to make it seem like we are on, some better field of
the violence is a means of getting past, transcending the violence.
Yeah. So
it's like war. Can you make a film about war that doesn't glorify war? Yeah. I don't know.
You can make good films about war that make you think war is bad, but you're probably
it's still kind of badass.
You're probably still glorifying war. Yeah. And yeah, that's hard. It's an impossible situation. This is what the movie is trying to get at too.
Yeah,
exactly. It's an impossible situation. And Martin McDonagh, he's probably calling himself out. Like, I don't know how to write differently. I don't know how to write about non-violent topics, but I want to,
Yeah.
It does have layers to give him the compliment that he gave Sam Rockwell. It does have layers.
Well, and it's like the same scene where he comes up with that line, the new name for the movie. He's talking to Christopher Walken, and Christopher Walken's Amish, and he's non-violence and all that. He's Amish, so definitely pacifist. And Christopher Walken notates the famous line from Gandhi, "An eye for an eye makes a whole world blind." And Sam Rockwell's like, you see the look on his face. He's thinking a little bit too hard about the Gandhi quote. And it's like, wait a second, but what about the one guy that has one eye left? What? And he's just like, he goes through the whole like monologue of why the line "eye for an eye makes the world blind" is just bullshit. He's like, hey, I'm just saying, I'm calling it out first. No one else wants to call out Gandhi. I'm calling it out first. I was like,
he's like, he'll just run away because everyone else is blind. How's the blind guy gonna get his one eye?
Oh gosh, it's so good.
Yeah. No. So this is a good movie. This is definitely one that gets kind of overlooked by some of these other movies. I think
I was actually surprised at how high the rating was on it.
Oh, okay.
I had a strong memory of it failing pretty significantly, like as like a follow up to In Bruges. But I actually looked on the Rotten Tomatoes, which, you know, it's not a great way of telling the greatness of a film or not, but it was like a 89 or something. And I was like, oh, wow, okay. That was higher than what I thought it was. So
yeah, I guess it made it made about 33 million on its $15 million budget. I do remember it getting like a wide release because I saw it in theater, and I think it was probably kind of disappointing for a wide release, but yeah.
I saw it in Amarillo, so it definitely got a wide release if it made it to Amarillo, Texas.
Nice. Yeah, it was. Oh. Yeah, it definitely wasn't as big of a hit as In Bruges. Like, In Bruges got Martin McDonagh like an Academy Award nomination.
Yeah.
This movie, I don't think got much award love at the end, but I think it was Martin McDonagh's like most commercial trying film, and has been so far, even though his next two have gotten a lot more like kind of prestige buzz around them. But
they definitely weren't mainstream, either one of them.
No. But yeah, so
they were indie darlings.
Indie darlings. Yeah. Yeah, so do you have a favorite moment from this movie?
I mean, there's a lot. I've got a lot of moments from this movie that I absolutely adore. But I think because that's the last thing you see, the part where Tom Waits calls him at the very end, is pretty. It's hilarious, and the way it ends, like whenever you hear Marty when he's talking to Tom Waits in the middle, towards the first 45 minutes of the movie, you're like, he says, I'll promise my life that I'll do this. And in that moment, like, no, that's not gonna end well. But the story never goes there. Like that's just like kind of a thread that's left hanging, is like a one-off. And then he gets the call from Tom Waits during the credits, and he's like, I noticed that you didn't do what you said, and you promised your life on it, and I'm gonna have to kill you. And so he picked up that thread, and he's like, no, this is a movie about psychopaths. I've got to do this.
I've got to do this. Yeah. And Tom Waits, I wonder, so it's interesting. I wonder if, because you made a comment about Marty not being a psychopath, right? But
yeah,
isn't that what Tom Waits, who he goes after? Doesn't he go after psychopaths? He's a killer of psychopaths.
But he also doesn't end up wanting to kill him, because he's like, you sound different. You sound like you've been through the ringer lately.
Yeah. So maybe
he's like, you know what? Tuesday doesn't work for me.
Yeah. Actually, I do have a quick question. Have you ever seen the show I Think You Should Leave?
Yes. I mean, the first season of it only.
Okay, so you haven't seen the second season though.
No.
Okay, there's three now. The third season just came out, but the second season there's a skit. So for listeners who haven't seen this before, it's a sketch show created by Tim Robinson, who used to be on SNL and did a whole bunch of other things, and Zach Kanan is also a co-creator. But there's this episode about getting your ears pierced at Claire's, and it's funny because Claire's is a very, very young girl store. So the ear piercing and everything, kind of the vibe of the store is geared towards young preteen girls. But the twist of this is that it's also the place where like bikers go and get their ears pierced, and like middle-aged men who want to get their ears pierced go there. And so you see this young girl watching this video about safety and getting your ears pierced, and it's kind of like prepping her to get like the whatever, the gun thing done. And then next to her is this big burly like biker guy, and he's like, it's so boring, I don't need to know this, I'm ready. And then like this like older kind of college age girl who works there like pops in and is like, you got to finish the video if you want to get your ears pierced. But in the video there's also a bunch of other little girls kind of talking about their experiences. And then there's this guy who's older and is talking about his experiences, and he's like, yeah, Chloe was great, she was the best for getting my ears pierced. And then he starts kind of sharing too much information about his life and like what brought him to this point. It's very funny, and it's also really sad too, because he starts talking about how his dad died and all of these sad things. But that guy in the Claire's video is the hippie that they murder in Seven Psychopaths, that Tom Waits and his wife murder. So
that's hilarious.
That actor. And so he has a couple lines that Kira and I like say to each other pretty frequently. One of them is like, it's not dad, it's a jib jab. And so we say that to each other. And so when we saw him in Seven Psychopaths, we were like, oh, is that the jib jab guy?
The jib jab. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I need to return the questions. First off, who's your favorite psychopath? And second, what is your favorite moment?
I think Christopher Walken is my favorite psychopath. Because I think that's an interesting story. It's fun and dark, and the twists and turns of it being kind of this fantastical story to it being still kind of a little bit of a stretch, but more real based in the characters that you're familiar with by that point is kind of fun. So that twist is cool. And then there's a moment that keeps replaying in my mind, but it keeps replaying badly because I can't figure out how he says it. But Christopher Walken has to say hallucinogens at one point, and he says it in the most mind-blowing way, in the most like Christopher Walken pronouncing things sort of way. And I can't for the life of me remember how it said, but I know it was like, it's like this worm that lives in my brain, that it was like, how did you do that? And I know I could just like pop in the disc and go back to that moment, but
why?
yeah, but yeah, at one point, they all do peyote together in the desert, and they're talking about it, and Marty's like, "Oh, that's just the hallucinogens," and he says, "This has nothing to do with," and he pronounces it in this wonderful way. But yeah, so probably the moment that like lives in my mind the most. Yeah.
I do also want to note that at the end, whenever Woody Harrelson, they're driving, he's talking to Marty in the car. Woody Harrelson's like, whenever he notices that, Marty notices that Woody Harrelson had people that were going to come and kill them and whatnot, and that he actually did have a gun and all that, blah, blah, blah. And Woody Harrelson's like mocking him, saying like, "Now you wish you had a gun," blah, blah, blah. And I love the way Colin Farrell plays this, because it almost looks like he's about to like do that whole like turn, like he's gonna be like sad or something like that he didn't have a gun, but then he like looks at him like Woody Harrelson is like the dumbest motherfucker alive, and he's like, "No, I don't want a gun." What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Just the way he pulls that scene off is just, for whatever reason, just cracks me up. It's like, you dumbass. No, I don't want a gun. I told you I didn't want a gun. I don't want a gun. I still don't want a gun, even though you're about to fucking kill me. I don't want a gun.
Yeah.
A
true pacifist. So yeah.
So good.
Now, we should talk about the end of the film, because I feel like that... So, the movie, it's ratcheting up this paradox of... It's a movie called Seven Psychopaths, but it doesn't want to be about violence. Mm-hmm. How do you do that? How do you transcend the violence? And, we could argue about if it ever does that. It doesn't. There's violence in the movie. It doesn't transcend the violence.
Yeah. But that's kind of the point. Like, that's almost what he's trying to do. Like,
yeah. But then, so there's a thread. There's a psychopath in the movie that only shows up in retelling, and he's a Buddhist psychopath. From Vietnam, and
whose family was killed in melee.
Yeah. His whole story is that he wants to kill all of the people from the
GIs.
The GIs from the platoon that like murdered his family, and so he travels to the United States, and he dresses up like a priest.
For no particular reason.
Yeah,
just for the fact that Marty likes the idea of a Vietnamese Buddhist dressed up as a priest.
Yeah, it's a striking image, and then he hires a hooker to strap a bomb to, and send in to this this room of people who are having a conference and blow them up. As his revenge. And so so that thread kind of slowly gets told, and then at the very end of the movie, you hear Christopher Walken kind of end it for Marty. I shouldn't say very end. There's a post-credit scene that we talked about with Tom Waits and Marty. But before then, right before the credits, you hear the scene, and Christopher Walken says, I think this is how it should end. So he goes there, and then, the prostitute turns to him, and in perfect Vietnamese says, "Don't do this, brother. This won't help." And, and it's this American white prostitute who's like speaking to this guy in perfect Vietnamese, and you're like, what's going on? And then it turns out that this monk is just imagining that in his mind, and he's actually a Buddhist monk about to self-immolate to protest.
Which actually happened.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah.
Which actually happened, and out of protest for the war, and then
he had pushed out all the hatred and the vengeance and all the stuff out of his mind, and
yeah, so he lets go of this fantasy that he had, and it's out of his mind, and then it ends with him lighting himself on fire. So
yeah,
because it might do something, it might help.
Yeah.
So,
and even might do something is better than doing nothing at all.
Yeah,
I suppose. I mean,
yeah,
I think that's probably what Martin McDonagh is making a point about.
Well, yeah, and I think too, like, I mean, there's almost something, there's almost something biblical too about this idea of like, okay, so it reminds me of the verse that's like, you're tempted to do something, well, you should cut off your own hand, so you don't do it. He has these evil thoughts, but instead, turning himself into flames for the whole world to see seems like the other option to kind of release that and kind of free himself from that. It also made me think, do you ever listen to Me Without You?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
There's
come on now.
Yeah, no, I know. There's a song, King Beetle and the Coconut Estate, and that scene made me think of that, because it's this silly parable about bugs, but it's about this beetle that gets fascinated by fire, and then by the end he flies into the fire and burns up. So made me think of that too. But yeah. Even though I know this thing really happened, so it's not that I need to like have these touch points, but yeah.
Yeah, it's if you take the whole movie as a whole, it's like Christopher Walken said, there's layers. But I think this is a smarter movie than people give it credit for. Do I think it's perfect? No. There's some areas there that probably could have either been excised or cleaned up a bit, but I think it largely accomplishes what it set out to do.
Yeah. And I should note the movie ends with a dream sequence, that one we just described, and it also makes fun of the fact that it's ending with a dream sequence, which is something we've also talked about in this podcast.
Very much so.
So, although I won't repeat the words that they use to describe that.
Exactly.
If you want to, Martin McDonagh is definitely living the Tarantino lifestyle in this movie. Yeah. So just a heads up about that. So,
well, but if you're going into any of the McDonagh movies, you probably need to watch for that, because there's something about looking at. We're as Americans, we're so like accustomed to being careful around certain topics and things like that, and that's just not the case in other parts of the world. And so I think once we get into the next duo of films, that may be something we talk about. An outsider casting their eye on a very American experience, and what that can do in American response. So
yeah, it's actually already come up, like knowing that topic is going to come up in the next set of films.
Mm-hmm.
I'm seeing breadcrumbs of it already.
Oh, yeah.
In the movies that we've been watching, and I can't wait to talk about them. But that would get us way off topic from what we're going to talk about now, which is the movie
Is
Calvary.
one of the greatest films of all time.
It's, and I'm serious. I think this is one of the great films that has come out in my lifetime. Like, it...
Easily.
And you know, I think I'm a little bit biased because the movie takes, like, I have a religious faith that I grew up with, and now I have kind of complicated feelings towards. I think you also have complicated feelings, you know, and complicated feelings towards, you know, towards organized religion in general too. And this movie takes it all very seriously and threads the needle so well. Just I think I was telling you, like, it feels like a miracle that it all came together because, like, I think John Michael McDonagh is a great director, but I think this movie, like, exceeds his abilities. And the same can be said about, like, Brendan Gleeson. Brendan Gleeson is a great actor, and this is probably his best performance ever. Like, maybe not. Maybe we could argue about that, but, like, it's incredible.
Let's be honest, it was Paddington 2.
Yeah, it was Paddington too. But it's, you know, it goes beyond just him too. Like, it's truly a great film. So anyway, I'll stop talking.
Yeah, every actor in it is just pitch perfect.
Yeah,
like it's Aidan Gillen, Chris O'Dowd.
Chris O'Dowd will make you forget that he was in a TV show with a laugh track in it.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. Chris O'Dowd, who I had not seen since the IT Crowd when this movie came out, and I was like, wait it. Why is he in this?
Yeah. The movie also opens with the biggest litmus test of, is this movie for you ever, which is the line, the first time I ever tasted semen, I was 7 years old. And
at that point you're like, okay, well, buckle in.
Yeah, this is, and it you know, it really sets the tone for the movie. So I would say, so far, the movies we've been talking about have been comedies. I think this is the first one that's not a comedy.
Even though they still call it a dark comedy. When I saw the description when I was watching this again, and they still call it a dark comedy, I'm like, what? No.
See, I have a pretty open interpretation of dark comedy, but, like, I always think of comedy as, like, comedy, you know, it's this classic view of, like, is there a wedding at the end, or is there a funeral at the end? But I add the addition that, like, okay, horror films and black comedies and things like that, people don't usually get married, they usually get murdered. But I'll add the twist that, like, okay, the characters don't get what they deserve. And that can go two directions. That can go in a good way or in a bad way.
Yeah.
And you could make an argument where the characters don't get what they deserve at the end of this movie, because that's kind of the point of the movie. But in another sense, everything in like a bigger sense, everything fits into place perfectly. And
well,
really,
I think you're giving the modern parlance of black comedy or dark comedy too much credit.
probably
Because I think you're speaking in more of the general Shakespearean sense of comedy.
Yeah.
Which is not comedy in the way that we generally understand it. Yes, there are funny parts in Shakespeare's comedies, but that's not the point of his comedies. There's the only time that I even remotely chuckled during this film was at the beginning when he's talking to the altar boy about taking too much or taking some of the wine, and him saying that the kid was part of the mafia and something like that. I chuckled at that part, but from that point on, nary a chuckle did you hear come from my mouth.
I do think it's funny when the other priest is kind of a funny character.
In kind of a really sad, tragic way.
Yes, I agree with that. But when he finally like tells him off, and he's like, "I just think you're a bad priest." Like, oh, what does he say? He says, "I don't hate you. I just think that you have no integrity, and that's the worst thing I could ever say to a person." But I don't hate you.
And I think I can find the humor in that on reflection,
mm-hmm.
But at that point in the movie, I'm just like,
yeah. So if you haven't seen the movie opens up with a priest in a confessional, and it's all you see is Brendan Gleeson's face,
which is all you really need to see.
But you hear another voice. You hear someone confessing about being raped by priests by a priest when he was a kid, and
for 5 years, every other day, I think you said.
Yeah, and it's not, he's not confessing in a sense that he felt bad about it, but he's like in a confessional and he's telling this guy, and then he says like, "I'm going to kill you in 7 days."
Yeah. Why would I kill an already bad priest? That doesn't say anything. But if I kill a good priest, that'll get their attention.
That'll get their attention, and that's kind of the twist of the movie. And so then Brendan Gleeson's character goes away from that, and he has 7 days to put his house in order, and you meet his daughter who just attempted suicide. You meet all the other characters from the town, and some of them don't like him, some of them respect him, others,
and he knows who's gonna kill him, but we don't.
Yeah.
And so that's the fascinating part, and it hit a little bit harder for me this time, is seeing the interactions with everyone in the town and knowing that he knows, and then whenever you find out who it actually is, thinking back to the interactions he has with them throughout the movie, and you're just like, the fucking nerve of the guy. Like,
yeah.
You're just like, wow.
Yeah. It's good. Emmett Walsh is in it.
Yeah.
He plays a expat writer. We've seen him in other movies like Brubaker. He was in Brubaker. Yeah.
If I remember correctly, he's a favorite of yours, of the character actor, that guy actors.
Yeah. He was I think I don't know what the first movie I recognized him in, but he's in Blood Simple. He's
he's great. Yeah,
he's great
that's a
in
great
that.
movie.
Yeah, but he's just kind of a fun, quirky, very recognizable but hard to remember the name of guy. Although Emmett Walsh is a pretty good name to remember. It's catchy.
Yeah.
It's got a earworm nature to it. But yeah. But yeah, the structure is kind of like it's structured day by day, so it also has this episodic nature. There's a call out to In Bruges. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I did.
There's a scene where he's reading a newspaper and it says two hitmen wanted in Dublin murder or something like that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of fun.
Yeah.
Especially because it wasn't John Michael McDonagh's movie. It was his brother's movie. So he's giving a shout out to his brother.
Tying the universes together.
Yeah. The McDonagh-verse.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, it's also a beautiful movie. Like, just gorgeously shot. Makes you want to go to Ireland. Yeah. So
I passed through Sligo.
Oh, nice.
Mm-hmm. I didn't realize because I'd forgotten that's where this movie takes place, and yeah, we passed through there last summer when we went to Ireland.
Yeah.
It made me miss Ireland.
I bet.
It's
it
gorgeous.
makes me want to go to Ireland for sure.
Stay away from Dublin, but the countryside, oh man, it's beautiful. Dublin's fun for a day, but it's a city, so.
Yeah. So what do you think? Let's see. Let's talk about some specific scenes. There's kind of a center point of the movie where he goes to visit, well, his son. Not his son in the movie, but Brendan Gleeson visits his real life son.
Yeah. Who's playing a psychopath.
Yeah, so there's a psychopath in this movie too. You know, maybe 8 psychopaths would be the title
yeah, exactly.
for this. But yeah, so we have Domhnall Gleeson playing a former pupil of Brendan Gleeson's character, and he's a psychopath who is in prison and wants to meet with the father to kind of absolve him of his sins and whatnot. And that's kind of a crazy scene. It's also interesting how it's played later on because, you know, everyone in the town kind of judges him for meeting with this guy. Like, why would you do that? He doesn't deserve any sympathy.
Especially the guys, the constable, right?
The constable, yeah.
Yeah, he's like, you went to see Freddy?
Yeah.
You did you like? Why did you want to go see him? Well, because he wanted to see me. You know?
Yeah.
So you just absolve him of all of his sins, something like that. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the thing is he's just a good priest. He's kind of like in charge of this town, and he sees his vocation as like, you just go to people when they ask you to go to them and you talk to them. And he doesn't put up with a lot of shit, you know. He still is you know, is a man with feelings. Like he can tell when you're trying to take advantage of him, when you're trying to make fun of him and stuff like that. And he has a temper. He's an alcoholic or a former alcoholic. Yeah. He also has a daughter, which most priests don't really.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
but he became
Yeah.
a priest after his wife died. So yeah. Yeah. Any other pieces you want to talk about?
That's the really hard part about this movie is that it's really hard to pick apart like certain aspects of it because it all just works together so nicely. Because I mean, if you want to really get into the meat of it, like he dies at the end. Spoiler alert.
Mm-hmm.
Like the person who said he was going to kill him ends up killing him, and you see the bullet go through his head, and in a very like slow motion, bloody kind of way, which is very McDonagh like. They, like I told you before, they have a thing with head wounds. I mean, it's just a thing they do. But he gets killed, and so he gets killed on the beach, just like the guy tells him. And I remember the first time I watched this, I was like, because he didn't have to show up. Like the priest could have gone to Dublin, like he almost did at one point. He didn't have to show up. He could have avoided death, but because he is a good priest, he on some level recognizes that someone has to atone for the sins of his brotherhood. Mm-hmm. And that means doing what Christ did, ultimately. Taking the sins of others upon yourself and taking their punishment, what they deserve. And that's just a really, especially with this topic, the topic of sexual abuse in the church, which is not just a Catholic thing. It's a church-wide thing. But it's the pitch perfect nature of what he's trying to say with that is just really heartrending. Because he is a good priest, and he remains a good priest to the very end. Because he recognizes what he has to do, even if it means his own death. Like that is true courage and bravery.
Mm-hmm. And
that is what it's another form of the end of Seven Psychopaths with the self-immolation.
Mm-hmm.
It's instead of, saying it's not me, saying no, I own up to it. I am part of this group of people, and their sins are my sins, and then taking the punishment for it. I mean, that's a really profound statement to make, especially in this day and age.
Yeah, I mean, so many movies about religion. I mean, I don't know. I don't have any examples, but I don't feel like you get movies like this about religion that often where it takes kind of this true approach to it and says, no, what does an actual integrity driven individual like do in this situation? Well, they, if they truly believe this, if they, if they have this true faith, then yeah, this is the logical conclusion. They don't, it opens with this confessional, but he doesn't ask for absolution, and so the next scene you see him talking to this cardinal about it, and the cardinal's like, well, you have a loophole, and and that gives you this idea that, like, yeah, some people are in churches for loopholes and for
Mhm.
the get out of hell free cards or whatever, whatever these these things that bring them to this belief because they think they're a
Yeah.
better person or because they think they'll get power or something like that. But
But you know, Stephen, what the Cardinal does in that moment is Brendan Gleeson says, "So you're saying that I don't have to do this?" He says, "I'm not saying either. I'm not saying anything.
yeah,
It's your choice." And that is exactly the opposite of what Brendan Gleeson does in the end. He makes a choice, and he deals with the consequences, whereas the Cardinal is not wanting it to turn back on him.
yeah. There's definitely a delineation there where the cardinal kind of represents the larger church, which can't be touched. It's a corporation. It's
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
too big to fail, but again, getting back to like what true religion should be, it should belong to people. It should belong to the individuals making those decisions to live it out. And that's where like I so appreciate this movie is because it gets that right. It decides to portray that. And it doesn't pull any punches about how evil the Catholic Church can be and bigger religion can be,
but it also showcases the faith in a very serious and like non-Hollywood-ish way.
Absolutely.
Like, I've never seen portrayal of faith like this in other films. Maybe the closest is First Reformed, but even that goes off the rails towards the end.
Yeah. I mean, there are other films about faith or that showcase faith, but this one, it takes it in a very serious way, and I don't know. It's I don't want to. I feel like I'm coming off a little too like effusive, but that's just how I feel. So
yeah,
nothing
wrong with that. So maybe a good way to end this off. I've got a question in my head for you.
Okay.
Name your top 3 priests in TV/movie.
Oh man, top 3 priests.
Or priests, pastors, religious authorities. Like basically.
Can I name Rickety Cricket?
Yeah, go for it.
He
would probably make my top 10.
Rickety Cricket is on my mind because this is an aside, but I play a tabletop role-playing game with my friend Greg, and it's set in the Old Testament times. It's called Scapegoat. I don't need to get into too much stuff, but my character is kind of a scumbag type dumpster rat, and I kind of imagine that he looks like Rickety Cricket. Later stage Rickety Cricket. So
when he's homeless and
when he's homeless and he's
yeah.
But I guess I'll go with Rickety Cricket as one of them. So there's First Priest. Gotta shout out Brendan Gleeson. So from Calvary.
He's my number 1.
Yeah.
He hasn't been taken down yet.
Yeah. And then a third priest. Off the top of my head, this isn't a priest, this is a shaman. But the shaman from The Wailing. I'm going to shout him out.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah. That's a good one.
So mine are Brendan Gleeson, of course. That's my number one. My number two is a sexy priest on Fleabag.
Oh.
Which I think is a stellar portrayal of the priesthood. Have you seen Fleabag?
I've seen the first season. I haven't seen
the
second
so
season.
He doesn't come in until the second
I
season.
know.
He's amazing. And then my third one is Ethan Hawke in First Reformed, which he's not a priest, but he's high church pastor. So
you know the connection between what we're talking about and Fleabag, right?
Was Phoebe Waller-Bridge part of this?
No, but she is partners with Martin McDonagh.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. I keep forgetting that they're. Yeah, I saw that a while back, and I was like, "Oh, I didn't know that," and I completely forgot this time too. That's hilarious.
Yeah, that's a power couple. Yeah.
Yeah. No kidding. Well, I mean, they've got the top two spots, so there you go.
Yeah.
Do you have any other thoughts about Calvary?
Well, I want to talk about this, but it's going to come up in further movies.
So you're going to cliffhang us.
I'm going to cliffhang us, but I'm starting to pick up that these two have a certain affinity for animal-human relationships, too.
Yes.
That was showcased in both of these movies.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to remember. I don't think there was anything in the movies prior.
No.
But there are going to be more animals to come. So
yes. Uh-huh. Very much so.
Yeah. And so I think that'll be interesting to kind of talk about later on.
Which is interesting because the next round of films, which we've alluded to already, are both taking place in America, but directed by Irish directors. And both, well, one is largely forgotten.
Yeah.
The other one is largely despised in some corners.
Well, but we should note, at this point, Martin kind of took a dip, kind of a critical, well, not really a critical dip, but like just not so many people remember Seven Psychopaths.
He had a little bit of a slump, a sophomore slump, just a little bit.
I mean, not according to us, but maybe according to the wider
general, yeah.
But he's going to shoot up and become a pretty big darling after this.
Yeah.
John Michael is going to go from this high point of Calvary, and I don't want to say he goes low, but he's going to go into weird places.
Yes.
And
very much so.
It's going to feel like a very different trajectory.
Yeah.
Similar, like there's things that tie it all together and stuff, but the next film is very, very different. So
yeah. I'm actually excited to watch it again because I remember having specific thoughts about it the first time I saw it. I mean, following up Calvary. I mean, you're going into it like, oh, this is gonna be great. This is gonna be great, and you're like, what did I just watch?
Yeah, I think I'm also excited to kind of watch it with kind of like fresh, not fresh eyes, but kind of a new perspective, Yeah. So, okay, so we got to do our rating, right?
Mm-hmm. And we have to tell people if we've changed our sides.
Oh, yeah. Have we changed our sides? I can go first.
Okay, go for it.
So I think... So I had it... I had The Guard and then In Bruges. So I think I'll put Seven Psychopaths at the bottom.
Okay.
And then In Bruges. And then The Guard. And then Calvary. Yeah, I think that's my ranking.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a hard one for me. Because I there's part of me that wants to just follow your lead in that, because I think you're largely probably right in that ranking. But I think I'm gonna switch In Bruges and Seven Psychopaths. I think I'm gonna put In Bruges last and put Seven Psychopaths next, and then The Guard, and then Calvary.
I thought about that for a while.
Just because I think about it more than I do In Bruges. I mean, and I would probably say In Bruges is the better film, but personally, I think about Seven Psychopaths more than I do In Bruges. So yeah, I think it's a close. Like, if you ask me tomorrow, it's probably switched back, that kind of thing. But it's very much The Guard and Calvary at top. So
Yeah. So, I mean, it'd be weird if I was like, Martin McDonagh is the better brother now that I have
yeah, exactly.
in my current ranking. So yeah, I think we're still riding high on the John Michael train.
Yeah. I don't think I'll be switching sides yet.
Yeah, not yet,
Yeah.
but
Not yet.
we're only halfway through.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really going to depend on on this next round of films, because the last two we've seen the most recently, of all of them, and so we already have kind of those in the background, whereas we're kind of revisiting some of their older films for the first time in maybe a year or two or more. I know that you watched Calvary at your birthday movie matinee.
Like a year and a half ago at this point. Yeah.
Was it a year and a half ago? God.
Yeah, it was my 35th birthday. I'm old
youngin.
now.
Youngin. Yeah. We may have to do a special episode from my 40th birthday.
Is that coming up this year? Oh, wow.
Yep. November 30th is my
November
40th
30th.
birthday.
Yeah.
Yep.
2 days after my son's first birthday and 1 day before your son's third birthday.
Exactly. That's right. Little turd. 3 minutes into the next day. I could have just stopped celebrating birthdays, but no, he had to have his whole other day and month. Yeah. So, well, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
These are
I'm excited
powerful
for
movies.
Powerful movies. Check them out.
Check them out, please. At least Calvary.
Yeah.
If you're gonna pick of the two, I think you should watch both. But if you're only gonna watch one, Calvary.
Yeah. So far, all 4 movies are worth your time.
Yeah. So far, yeah.
Yeah.
Next week we'll possibly push back against the ratings, but we'll see. I'm excited. The next round is probably the most exciting entry in this for me.
Yeah. It's definitely going to be a wild ride for sure.
Yeah. So, well, should we just cold close?
Yeah, let's cold close.
Beautiful.
Bye.
Bye.